Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm with Bea Taylor, who is an instructional coach, I believe, at in Texas. Bea, I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself and provide a little background here.
Well, thank you, Daniel. Yes, my name is Bea Taylor. If you ever watched Andy Griffith, I'm Aunt Bea, and I have worked for UT Tyler for several years now. My background is quite varied. I've taught it anywhere from 4-year-olds up through the university. I've taught at several universities. Went back to school and got my doctorate at 50, and I have worked in excuse me. I've worked for outdoor camps. I like outdoor education, and I taught in China for 3 years. I opened up a school over there in Shanghai.
That's awesome.
I really enjoy doing things as far as education is concerned.
Bea, how long have you been using Edthena? Is this your first year?
No, it's not. I've used it actually for 2 years now. The way I got started on it is in 2013, I was working for UT Tyler, and my mother had a stroke in October. I had started with the students here, and I needed to go back to Virginia where I had some support. And so in going back up there, everything now became online. And so I was sitting there and typing out transcripts, because my feeling is if I want to change somebody's behavior, then I need to tell them what they have done before I can make a suggestion. So I was typing everything out. It was taking me like 5 and 6 hours to be able to type out a 45-minute lesson. And when Donna Wise is the lady that I work with, when she told me that this had come up and she said, I want you to see this, it was like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what we've been doing. Why didn't we think of it first? Because it was everything. It was everything that I had been doing manually. And so I've used it now for 2 years. I absolutely love it. It makes life so much easier for me.
Well, that's what we like to hear. That's what we like to hear. Could you explain a bit more of, you touched on it a bit here, but what exactly does your process for using Edthena with your students look like? If you could touch on that a little bit.
It's changed a little bit in the sense that if I am out of the area, it's different than when I'm here. Okay. When I was in Virginia, I did not know my students. I had not met them. Okay. And so I would watch the video, send my notes back, frequently ask questions and get no answers, which frustrated me to no end. Because if I want to understand something, I want a response. I want to know that they've read it. Okay. I want to know that they've read it and paid some attention to it. And if I get no answer, I did not know that. So that was a frustrating point for me while being in Virginia. Now that I am back in Texas, I'm doing student teachers versus step 1 and step 2. Step 1 and step 2 are teachers that have, they're still trying to decide if they want to go into the teaching field. So with my student teachers now, I am in the classroom every other week. The weeks I am not there, they are to send me a video. Now, it's interesting because a lot of times they will say to me, oh, this is not a good lesson. I don't want to send that to you. And I've said to them, send me a bad lesson. I need to see that. How am I going to be able to help you if I don't see a bad lesson also? So They send me the lesson. I make notes on it. Sometimes I'm doing an evaluation that I have to fill out. Many times I do not. So it just depends on where I am in the evaluative process with the university. Then when I go back the next week, we are able to talk. So there's follow-up. And really, that's the process that I like. I think that Edthena works best when you've got that face-to-face. So if I were in a school setting where I was principal, I would use that where I could monitor my teachers and then do a follow-up with them and say, all right, this is what we saw. Give me what your feedback is after you have gotten my feedback. So I think the face-to-face is really an important component of it.
Yeah, so really not so much as a replacement of, face-to-face coaching, but more of like a supplement, a tool that you can use to better what you're able to provide.
Correct. And the other thing that I see is that because you take every other week, I do a visual evaluation. There's so many things that I can't catch, and I've got no record of them. So I can always go back to Edthena when I'm trying to do evals, or if I'm needing to talk to them, and I can push a button and go back exactly to where I want them to see and say, all right, look at this.
Right.
And if I'm doing an in-class evaluation, sometimes I'll miss something.
Sure, of course. I mean, I think we're all prone to that, right?
Yes.
Was there if you think back, was there a specific moment, maybe when you first started using Edthena last year, perhaps, when you realized how much of a game changer it might be for your work with your students?
Oh, when I was down here the summer before UT Tyler purchased it, and she showed it to me online, I knew before I ever used it, it was going to be a game changer, because I knew how much time I was spending on what I was doing originally. So I didn't even have to get into it to know it was going to be what I wanted.
You were right off the bat. You were in, huh?
Oh, yes. Oh, very definitely. Yes.
Great. Awesome. So do you hope now moving forward to continue using video in your work with your teachers and your students?
Oh, I find it very invaluable. Of course, I'm not the one that does the purchasing on it at all.
Right.
But I do give the input back, to the department.
Right.
And, I think that they're very happy with it. I could see, because I know that being on the other side of the evaluative process, I would hear administrators say, oh, I've got so many evaluations to do. I've got to get these in. I don't have time. To me, for a school district, this would, it would cut down on a lot of their lost time. I think it would make their evaluation. I don't know if you've got any school districts using it, but I would think that it would be very, very good just from that standpoint. And another place that I would use it, and I talk to my students about, find out what the mentoring program is when you are looking for jobs. I would think this would be an excellent program to have for new teachers.
Yeah, and
programs.
Yeah, we actually have some tools designed specifically to help people, in the beginning of their job searches and stuff. And we can connect after the interview to discuss those a little bit more if you like. Only got time for one more question. Do you have any advice for other instructors or coaches or professors who are maybe thinking about using video? What would you tell somebody who is maybe getting started? Any words of wisdom for them?
I was very apprehensive, and that's when I had contacted you to start off with, because I knew that we were going to do this, and I had no way of knowing what it was going to look like at the very beginning. Now, you had tutorials on there, but a tutorial was different than it would have been if I had had something that I could have actually gotten into.
Sure.
So the thing that I would tell people is that it is so easy. All of my fears were unfounded. And it was just so easy. I had a lot of apprehension over it, because I knew that when I got started, because when I started this, I had 22 students and everybody taught 2 or 3 times. And I didn't want to get behind on it.
Right.
So I would just say to them, it is so very, very easy to use, and that they have no apprehension. You can go in and just follow the prompts. One of the things you didn't ask that I really want to share are some of the things I like about it.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay?
Definitely.
I have 4 things. I have 4 things that I want to tell you that I like about it.
Okay.
One is I really like the fact that I can have their lesson plans appear on a tab. Because if I'm watching a student and I can go back and can look at the lesson plans, I know exactly where they are because I'm looking at 5Es, okay, or for science. I can tell exactly where they are. So I love the fact that that is a drop down. I love the fact that you've color coded the comments at the bottom.
Okay.
It's real easy for me to go back, and when I see the tabs at the bottom, you can go in real quickly and see, okay, did I have more questions? Did I have more suggestions? Did I have more strengths? Which part of the continuum is this? So I liked that. I like the fact that I can go down and look at the where I have typed, click on that, and it jumps straight to the video. So we can look at that. So if I'm with the student, we can go to that, and I'm not having to hunt for it.
It goes right to that moment in time.
I go straight to it. Straight to it. And as I said, I use my videos a lot of times for my evals. I will work with a dual screen, and I'll have my eval on one screen, and I'll have my video on the other screen, and that way I can watch and can get that done, and it's a time saver, a real time saver.
Oh, that's great. So. Great. And thank you so much for sharing all that info. We'll have to connect after the call as well. We have tools that allow people like yourself to analyze comment statistics or data that we pull about the comments that you leave and that peers leave on their videos over time. You might already know about that. But we'll have to make sure that you know how to use those tools as well. Anyway, that's all I got for right now. Thank you so much, Bea. We really appreciate the time today. And yeah, thank you so much again.
Thank you for inviting me. You have a great day.
All right.